A dealer in Houston refused to fix a customer's low-speed hesitation complaint, telling him to wait for a diagnosis. What that dealer didn't want to admit is that Toyota already knew about the Hybrid Max transmission bug and already had a software patch sitting in the system. That's the reality you're stepping into with the 2026 Toyota Crown. It's a car that looks like a sedan, sits like a crossover, and hides far more engineering complexity under its skin than almost anything else in Toyota's lineup. After sifting through hundreds of owner reports, mechanic notes, and reliability metrics, a few critical details surfaced that standard reviews gloss right over. Here's why people are even looking at this car in the first place. The Crown nameplate disappeared from North America in 1972. Toyota brought it back with a completely different mission: bridge the gap between a luxury sedan and a crossover SUV. Instead of choosing one, they built something that tries to be both. The hip point sits around 30 inches off the ground. That's crossover-level ease of entry, but wrapped in a lower, sleeker body with a real trunk instead of a hatch. For buyers who are tired of dropping down into a low sedan seat but don't want to give up a quiet, tight, sealed cabin, that's the pitch. And Toyota didn't half commit to it either. Every single trim comes with standard all-wheel drive. Every trim gets leather. Every trim gets a hybrid powertrain. That's a very different starting point than most competitors in this price range. But here's where expectations start running into reality. There are actually two completely different cars hiding under one nameplate. The XLE, Limited, and Nightshade trims run a 2.5-liter hybrid system putting out 236 horsepower, built around a planetary eCVT with 0 belts, 0 clutches, and 0 torque converter. The Platinum trim is a different animal entirely. A 2.4-liter turbo hybrid max system making 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, paired to an actual 6-speed automatic with a wet clutch instead of a torque converter. Owners of the 2.5-liter cars report something remarkable: highway ranges over 550 miles on a single 14.5-gallon tank. That's not a marketing number. That's people logging actual fill-ups. At 41 combined miles per gallon with standard all-wheel drive, there's genuinely nothing else in this segment doing that. But that efficiency comes with a trade-off nobody warns you about before the test drive. Under hard acceleration, the Atkinson cycle engine gets loud. Really loud. It's the classic CVT drone, and it clashes hard with how quiet and buttoned down this car feels at cruising speed. More than half of owners bring it up unprompted. Test drive it under real throttle before you buy, not just cruising down a quiet street. That sounds like a minor annoyance. Here's what surprised owners after a few months of daily driving. The wireless phone charger, the one Toyota built right into the center console, has become the single most complained about feature across every trim level. Over 60% of owners run into problems with it. Phones in cases lose contact with the charging coil. Run navigation wirelessly for a long stretch and the phone gets hot enough to throttle itself down or shut off entirely. The workaround owners found on their own. Pull the case off before you set the phone down. Toyota never tells you that. Now flip over to the Platinum buyers because their complaints are completely different. At low speed, that 10 to 15 mile/hour range coming out of a stop sign, the Hybrid Max transmission can hesitate. It's the handoff between the electric motor, the wet clutch, and the turbo engine trying to figure out who's driving at that exact moment. Toyota's already issued transmission control module updates to smooth it out, but the fundamental character is different. A stepped automatic will never feel as seamless in stop-and-go traffic as a planetary eCVT does. If you're cross-shopping trims, that's worth feeling for yourself. Here's where the mechanics get interesting, because the two powertrains are built for entirely different lifespans. The 2.5-liter system has almost nothing to wear out. No belts, no torque converter. Toyota's dual-injection setup, combining port and direct injection, keeps carbon from building up on the intake valves, which is one of the most common failure points on modern direct injection engines. Mechanics are projecting these units to run past 250,000 miles with standard maintenance. The one where item to watch is the electric water pump, which typically shows minor external weeping somewhere between 120,000 and 150,000 miles rather than failing suddenly. The hybrid max system is more ambitious and more complicated. Turbochargers hate sudden heat soak. That moment when a hot turbo stops spinning coolant the instant the engine shuts off for EV mode. Toyota's answer was to add dual electric coolant pumps that keep circulating fluid through the turbo housing even after the engine goes quiet. It's a clever fix for a real problem, and it seems to be working. Projected lifespan on that engine sits around 175,000 to 200,000 miles before major service. Still strong, just not eCVT strong. Most reviews stop at the specs and the driving impressions. But ownership really starts after the honeymoon period ends, once the depreciation curve and the yearly bills show up. Annual ownership costs tell a clear story. A limited trim owner is looking at roughly $4,050 a year all in. Fuel, maintenance, tires, insurance. A platinum owner is closer to $5,780, largely because that turbo engine wants premium fuel and those 21-inch wheels chew through tires faster. Depreciation follows the same pattern. The 2.5-liter cars hold about 58% of their value after 3 years, among the best in the segment, while platinum trims land closer to 52%. Consumer Reports gave the platform an 89 out of 100 and called it a recommended buy. Car and Driver praised the acceleration on the Hybrid Max and that raised seating position. Edmunds liked the ride and the standard all-wheel drive but flagged that engine noise under load. Where they all genuinely disagree is on what this car even is. Is it a tall luxury sedan, or a sedan-shaped answer to a crossover? Nobody's fully settled that argument, and honestly, that's kind of the point of the car. So if you're actually shopping for one, here's what the data points to. The limited trim, with the standard 2.5-liter hybrid and the standard 19-inch wheels, is the sweet spot. It adds the quad LED lighting, the fixed glass roof, the JBL sound system, without stepping up to the 21-inch wheels that stiffen the ride and cost more to replace. Skip the nightshade. You're paying nearly $3,000 more for black wheels and trim pieces, with zero mechanical upgrade underneath. There's no year to genuinely avoid here. The 2023 launch models had some early infotainment bugs and more pronounced shift hesitation before Toyota pushed updated transmission software. If you're shopping used and looking at an early Hybrid Max car, just confirm the service history shows those updates were applied. Who should buy this? Someone who wants a quiet, efficient daily driver with real all-wheel drive traction and doesn't want to climb into a low sedan seat every morning. Who shouldn't? Anyone who needs hatchback-level cargo flexibility, or anyone chasing 40-plus miles per gallon out of the platinum trim, because that number belongs to the 2.5-liter cars, not the performance one. Two very different personalities wearing the same badge. Pick the one that actually matches how you drive, not the one that looks best in the parking lot.